from 21st to the 24th of this month. We'll talk about that on the show. ABL, where the man in charge of stadium construction and CEO Money Michelle Limited is talking about Rivers United's exploits in the just concluded Super Six, and of course are qualifying to represent the country in the CAF Interclub competition. That will get us talking on the show. We'll also have a Formula One, tennis on the show, and some football news and transfer news making the rounds here on the Sports Show, Sports Today on ABS TV. Now, let's begin with our first story on the show. Our first story, it's about the Anambra State Sports Development Commission, the ASSDC, under the leadership of its chairman in the person of Patrick Estate Onyedum. And that man has commended student athletes for their impressive and eye-catching performances during the zonal stages of the ongoing Anambra School Sports Festival held on Friday night and Saturday, 10th June 2023 at the three senatorial zones. Onyedum expressed that his delight that the grassroots is filled with budding talent who have what it takes to be national stars and world beaters in few years to come if properly groomed and nurtured. He also commended sports officials for their Mr. Governor, His Excellency Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, for his support to sports by way of approving the Sports Solution Initiative, which bettered the Anambra School Sports Festival. The governor has also given the nod for this program to become an annual event, and we want to thank him for graciously giving the nod for sports development at the grassroots level. He stated, well, the zonal eliminations of the ongoing Anambra School Sports Festival was concluded last Saturday. There were games at different centers. The 2-day zonal elimination series were staged at the Nnewi High School, Nnewi Isuofia Community Secondary School for Anambra South and Senatorial District, Waichu by Bazu Stadium, Onitsha, Nutwacha Stadium, Aguleri, hosted for Anambra North Senatorial District, and for Anambra Central there was hostilities at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Secondary School pitch, Abagana, St. Mary's High School, Ifitedunu, and St. Stephen's Parish Ground also in Ifitedunu, while the sports club at Amobi hosted at the football event. In male football, Christ the King College Onitsha looks set to reenact its world academical feat to Dublin 1977 as they cruised in both under 13 and under 17 boys categories. In the female football, Urban Girls Secondary School Onitsha defeated Bethlehem Girls College Fege by 1-0 in the under 17 category to advance to the semi-finals as representatives of the Anambra North. In the Queen of Angels beat a community school Ebenator 5-4 penalties to qualify for female under 17 football, while Nnewi High School defeated Divinity Secondary School 3-1 in a male category 2 emerger from Anambra South. In Isuofia, Christ Redeemer's College Amesi defeated CSS Oko by 4-2 via penalties in the female under 17 football, while their male counterparts joined in the state finals after beating Community Secondary School Obo by 2-1. Well, let's tell you that in female volleyball, Holy Child Secondary School Isuofia and Community Secondary School Isuofia advanced to the state finals to represent Anambra South, while in male volleyball, we have a Holy Christ Secondary School Isuofia defeating Community Secondary School Isuofia 3-2 to represent Anambra South in that zone. Moving now to Anambra Central, Bubendorf Grammar School, Adazinuku, and CSS Akwese progress in the male volleyball event, while Community Secondary School Akwese and Rosa Mystica High School will advance in the female category. Don Bosco College Obosi and Bubendorf Memorial Grammar School, Adazinuku, are through to the under 17 male basketball final, while Mata Amabilis College Umoji advanced to the final unopposed. In the under 17 male finals, Bubendorf Memorial Grammar School, Adazinuku defeated Capital City Secondary School by 8-7 via penalty shootout to make it to the finals of the upcoming school sports, the state finals coming up later this month, and it's going to happen at the Oka City Stadium and some venues out there. It's all about 9-10 sporting events. Cricket is a demonstration game, and watch out for the 21st and to the 24th of this month for the finals of the ongoing Anambra School Sports Festival. It is called Anambra Sports Solution Initiative. initiative, and that's the brainchild of Honorable Patrick Estate Onyedum, who is the chairman Anambra State Sports Development Commission. And be rest assured that I will continue to bring you up to the very latest as regards what's happening at the school sports festival happening in their state, which is coming to the climax. Moving away from that, the former president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Alhaji Sani Lulu Abdullahi, has praised the vision and direction of the current Ibrahim Musa Gusau-led NFF administration, saying the sincerity of its approach to issues and unambiguous intention to develop the game from the grassroots will culminate in steady growth of a Nigeria game. Speaking during the visit to the NFF Secretariat Abuja on Wednesday, the first since he left office in 2010, the Omachi Ata of Igalaland described that the present NFF team as exceptional, diligent, and committed, and expressed a confidence that it will succeed with its focus of grassroots development and inclusivity in administration. Earlier, President of the NFF, Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau, praised that the passion and energy of the former NFF Supremo while in office and commended the fact that he has continued to work out with the same passion in producing excellent individuals through his football academy and nicely blends football with education. Meanwhile, Gusau disclosed that the NFF is working in synergy with the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Federal Ministry of Education, as well as the Nigeria School Sports Federation, to produce Nigeria's representatives for subsequent editions of the African Secondary School Football Championship. FOSLA, as the country's championship school, has been invited to participate in this year's International School Sports Festival Federation competition taking place in Morocco and come next month. Elsewhere on the show, let's get to our third story. Let's tell you about Chief Ebielwe. That man is in charge of stadium construction in Nigeria, but the Chief Executive Officer of Money Michelle Group, Ebielwe, has commended Rivers United for securing the CAF Confederations Cup ticket at the just concluded Nigeria Premier Football League Championship playoff in Lagos. Ebielwe was also full of praise for the Rivers State Commissioner of Sports, Barrister Chris Green, who he said motivated the team in a special way. He noted that Rivers fought till the very last minutes in the game against Enyimba and played very well in the match, which ended in a draw and pushed Rivers to the third position on the Super 6 log to secure the CAF Confederations Cup ticket. Ebielwe said that he would want to see Rivers United prosecute their continental campaign at their Port Harcourt base rather than play away from home as they did last time. Ebielwe expressed a joy that Rivers United and other teams at the Super 6 enjoyed playing at the Mobalaji Johnson Arena Onikan, which was constructed by Money Michelle Facility Construction Limited. It will be noted that both Enyimba International Raymond Stars, who are featuring in the CAF Champions League, have hybrid synthetic pitches constructed by Money Michelle Sports Construction Limited, of course with its CEO, who you are seeing on the screen, the person of our Chief Ebielwe, and he's congratulating Rivers United. He's also talking about facilities as regards sport in the country. And away from that, let's talk about our Nigeria players abroad on the show. Divine Nwachukwu admits no one was more surprised than him at receiving a maiden call-up to the Nigeria squad for the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifier against Sierra Leone, billed for Sunday. The 20-year-old attacking midfielder was one of the four home-based players included in Jose Pesera's 23-man roster as reward for his fine performance in the colours of Bendel Insurance. Nwachukwu contributed 1 goal and 5 assists to help the Vipers finish top of Group A at the end of the regular season, and second, and scored 3 times during the Nigeria Professional Football League playoffs to catch the eye of Peseiro. The young star represented his country at the under-17 level, but revealed his journey since then has been a struggle and expressed pride at getting the nod by the Super Eagles head coach. Peseiro's side suffered a surprise 1-0 defeat to Guinea-Bissau, a match, although they got their revenge in the home leg 3 days later by beating Jutus by the same scoreline. The West Africans are 2 points clear at the top of Group A and will book their passage to the showpiece in Ivory Coast next year with victory over the Lion Stars in in Monrovia. And let's move away from that. Let's tell you that as one of Europe's most wanted strikers at the moment, Chelsea have reportedly submitted an offer for Napoli forward Victor Osimhen. The 24-year-old inspired Napoli to win their first Serie A title since 1990, while scoring 28 goals in all competitions last season. As a result, Victor Osimhen attracted interest from a number of top clubs around Europe. It is believed that Manchester United and PSG have been most interested in his services, with the Red Devils are said to be leading the race for his signature. However, it has now been reported that Chelsea have added the African star to their list of targets, and according to report, the London-based club has submitted an offer to Osimhen and take the player's agent and that's the player's agent has scheduled a meeting with Napoli president Olerio De Laurentiis to discuss a way forward. Chelsea have been one of the most prolific spenders in Europe during recent transfer windows and could be able to, of course, roll out a considerable amount of money yet again should Victor Osimhen choose blue over the red. So we'll be watching out for that and see where Victor Osimhen will be playing next season, if he will be playing for Napoli or if he will decide to go for pastures anew this time around to go for Chelsea Football Club. Well, let's tell you that the Central African Republic, the CAR, have history in their sights this weekend as they target the first qualification for the African Cup of Nations. We hear CAR are second in their group with 2 qualifying games to play, just 1 point behind leaders Ghana and 2 ahead of Angola, who they face on Saturday. And Swiss coach Raoul Savoy is in his third spell with CAR and is confident that his players will be able to cope with the pressure. The landlocked country came close to qualifying for the AFCON in 2012 when they defeated Egypt in one of the biggest upsets in the history of the competition. They then lost to Burkina Faso over 2 legs in the second qualifying round, and Los Falves as wild beasts as they are fondly known went close again, and that was in 2021, but missed out after losing their final group game to Mauritania. But this time around, they are set to try out and see if they can qualify for the upcoming championship. And now let's tell you that Fatma Samaura is set to step down from his role as the Secretary General of the Federation of International Football Association. That's the news making the rounds this morning. Appointed in 2016, the 60-year-old will oversee this year's Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand before leaving at the end of the year. Samaura, the first female and non-European in the role, was a surprise choice after the election of Gianni Infantino as a FIFA president. It was the best decision of my life to join FIFA, she said. Former Senegalese diplomat and United Nations official Samaura added, I am very proud to have led such a diverse team. FIFA today is better governed, a more open, more reliable, more transparent organization. I will leave FIFA with high sense of pride and fulfillment, Samaura stated. For now, I am fully focused on the preparation and delivery of the upcoming Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, and from next year, I would like to spend more time with my family. I have been in love with football since I was 8 years old, and I feel honored to have been on this journey. FIFA President Gianni Infantino paid tribute to Samaura and said that he respects her decision to depart. It has been a privilege and an honor to work with a trailblazer in the game. Ever since we met, I know she would be superb for FIFA. Her passion and enthusiasm to drive a change has been inspirational. Fatima will continue to contribute towards the development of the game, and its social values are together with us. During Samaura's time as head of FIFA's administration, women's football has become more popular and more organized, and the 2023 Women's World Cup will be the biggest ever women's competition, and is set to feature 32 teams in that one. So Fatma Samaura, in a matter of months, she will no longer be the Secretary General, the scribe of the Federation of International Football Association. Well, let's tell you that now in tennis, American sprinter Tori Bowe died from complications in childbirth. Her agent has said Bowe, who won the 4x100 meters relay gold at the Rio Olympics in 2016, plus 100 meters silver and 200 meters bronze, died at her home in Florida in May, and that was at the age of 32. Her agent Kimberly Holland told the media that speculation over Bowe's death had been very hurtful, according to an autopsy report obtained by a section of the media in the United States of America. The manner of the former 100 meters world champion Bowie's death was ruled natural. The reporter says she was estimated to be 8 months pregnant and undergoing labor at the time of her death. He added that possible complications Bowie had included respiratory distress and eclampsia when a person develops seizures or convulsions during her pregnancy. In May, the Orange County Sheriff's Office said that deputies had attended a home in the area for a well-being check of a woman in her 30s who had not been seen or heard from in several days. We hear a woman tentatively identified as a friend Tori Bowie was found dead in her home, and Bowie converted from a long jump in 2014 and had an immediate impact on the tracker, becoming the fastest woman in the world that year. She was the only American woman to have won an Olympic and World 100 meters title since Carmelita Jeter, and that was 2011. Bowie is no more, and we'll say may her soul rest in peace. And now, let's talk about Formula One. It's been a story for Formula One this season. Max Verstappen has been in the news, and once again, he's in the news this morning as Verstappen says if he cannot win any race this year, he would like to see Fernando Alonso win it instead. Verstappen's Red Bull team have won all 7 races so far this year, and he says it is possible they could win them all. Verstappen, who leads at the Drivers' Championship by 53 points, said Alonso deserves it. He is a real racer, he said. Alonso, a 2-time champion with a Renault in 2005 and 2006, last won a race for Ferrari, and that was in 2013. He spent 4 uncompetitive years with McLaren from 2015 to 2018, stepped away from Formula One for 2 years to compete in endurance racing and at Indianapolis, and before returning with Alpine in 2021 and then moving to Aston Martin for 2023. He is at the 3rd in the championship and has finished on the podium in all but 2 races so far this season. And lastly, on football news, before we'll conclude the show Sports Today, the Friday edition, Italian champions Napoli have named Rudy Garcia as their new coach, replacing Luciano Spalletti. The Serie A side said on Thursday Napoli did not specify the length of Garcia's contract, and the 59-year-old that coached Italy's AS Roma from 2013 to 2016 before moving to French Ligue 1 side Marseille and Olympique Lyon. The Frenchman coached a Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr last season. They finished second in the Saudi Pro League with Cristiano Ronaldo leading the attack. Al Nassr parted ways with Garcia in April amid a report of an uneasy relationship with Cristiano Ronaldo, and former Napoli coach Spalletti, who led them to their first Italian league title since 1990, asked to take a break from the job for a year. So that's the story about that man, Rudy Garcia. Is now the new coach of the team out there, talking about the champions, the Scudetto winners, Napoli, and that's the club where Victor Osimhen plays his football. And we hear Osimhen earlier on, like I told you, may be seeking for pastures anew, and we'll also keep you apprised as regards Victor Osimhen's contract, his stay out there at Naples in Italy. Well, that's about the size of the show this morning, Sports Today on ABS TV. We are glad you could join us from 9:30 down to this very moment. The show will make a return on Monday. Until then, my name is Ike Mokedi. Have a lovely weekend and keep sporting. Bye-bye now.